Well, did you hear? He's guilty. Now, we all knew that, didn't we? We didn't deny the images and the video clips that we've seen of Donald Trump messing around with little girls, pictures of him with Jeffrey Epstein. We all knew, didn't we? MAGA lot want to deny it, they do, yeah. They'll make all sorts of excuses for him, they do, yeah. But you see, Pam Bondi has told Donald Trump that he is in the Epstein Files. Jeffrey Epstein reckons he's been best friends with Donald Trump for at least a decade. Donald Trump did say at one point that he was a friend of Jeffrey Epstein's beforehand. Well, he knew him for about 15 odd years. This was during the period of time when, Jeffrey Epstein had to put it, doing his thing. No, I can't really talk about it on here. Well, Donald Trump was most likely involved. At the moment, it's all allegedly. The fact that he's in the Epstein Files, because Pam Bondi told him that he is, doesn't necessarily make him guilty. Because there'll be plenty of other names in the Epstein Files as well. Depends on the details of those files. What was he up to? I think we already know, don't we? I think so. Anyway, welcome to AllShorts, and it's a bit of a random live, as it is. But you see, when did Pam Bondi tell Donald Trump that he was in these files? Well, back in May. In May. When you got Dan Bondino, what his name is, Bangino, Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, all these other cretins who reckons they want transparency. But they knew that he is in these files. How can you actually justify your silence in this matter when children are involved? Hello, Doc Davies. Hello, everyone. Cat's eye moves, yes. I just saw this recent bit of news that Pam Bondi told Donald Trump that he was in these files. I thought, hey, don't go live. Just make up a random videos. So I thought, no. Oh, damn me. But obviously, none of us are surprised, are we? We know. It's all been fairly evident that Donald Trump was involved with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, what happened now then, Is he going to admit it? Or was he going to carry on accusing Barack Obama? I've just been listening to a live stream. It's a call-in live stream from, the YouTube. He's very good. He's not a Trumper, but he requests calls from Trumpers. And these people are just dancing around on the head of a pin. They want to make excuses still for Donald Trump. See, they didn't believe that he was in these files, and now it's confirmed that he is. So how are they going to deal with that? Are they going to be comfortable with the idea, supporting a man that has had close relationships with Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted paedophile, a man which Donald Trump said that he was friends with for 15 years, and Jeffrey Epstein said, they were best friends for about a decade. So how are these MAGA lot, how are they going to reconcile with that? Are they going to carry on making excuses? Probably. I won't be a bit surprised. making excuses for, well, MAGA. They've got to make excuses for themselves, really, haven't they? Not just for Donald Trump. Could they go on about protecting the children from the trans people? What a load of bollocks, eh? They don't even know what trans is. They think if a man wearing a dress is trans. And that's about as far as it goes with them, you know. No, that's not how it works, is it? You know, that's what I would do. Just makes you a cross-dresser. That's it, really. I had a wash before I came on, and I just realised I just put water over myself. I was covered in dust, I was. So, who we got here? Manan, may I ask? Hey, may I ask? May I ask what? Are you the owner of a Mexican cartel? Oh, yes. I am the owner of a Mexican cartel, I am, yeah. What? Good grief. AllShorts is completely trustworthy and honourable. He is not a bad person at all. Oh, thank you, Judith. No, I try not to be. I try not to be. You know, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth doing harm to others. It always bites you in the ass. It's not worth lying like a Billy-O, you know, like a Donald Trump. That it's not worth it because that also bites you in the ass. Try and stay on the right side of. Well, try and be a decent person, really. That's all you can ask them to, you know. Don't do harm to others. You know, unless they want to do harm to you, well, then you might want to return the favour. But still. Oh, did you? That's nice. Okay. I am a walrus. I guess I. It is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting how... I've just found it absolutely disgusting how people are covering up for him. How people are bending over backwards to justify. I had one person on this live stream and he was saying, well, yeah, the economy's doing better. And that makes it okay, does it? What the heck? It's not even doing better, you know, inflation's at 2.7%, it went up. I don't know if I got I'm a walrus or not. SCOTUS knew and granted him immunity. Yep. The courts. Well, he's bought the courts, hasn't he? You know. So he's got immunity for his actions as the President of the United States. I don't think it's given him immunity of being a paedophile, does it? I wouldn't have thought so, would it? That should destroy him. You know, but just being in the files don't make, you know, we need more evidence than that. And it's probably there. I'll be a bit surprised. It's probably there. Proof. Well, they need to give you proof. You know, Pam Bondi. It was Pam Bondi told Donald Trump that he is in the files. Let me find the article. I did have it here a moment ago. Several bits back. You just search it. Just to pull it out. It's not that one. Oh, I did have a search. All I did was yeah, that one. Okay, it's in the BBC, it's on the Wall Street Journal, of news outlets, it's The Guardian, New York Times, CNN, Washington Post, AP News. So, you know, why do I need to provide you with proof? It's just like dancing around on a head of pin, isn't it? You know, it's just... Shouldn't need to. Besides, we've seen all the photographs, haven't we? You know, It's not as though it's like, so, you were happy to make excuses for him before. Even though you saw these images of him with Jeffrey Epstein, he says, I didn't know him. That's after he said he did know him for 15 years, The thing with Donald Trump, he never remembers what he said in the past. That's the thing about liars, they never remember their lies. That's why you can trip them up all the while. But Donald Trump, what did he do? Throw another dead cat in the ring. Distract. Flood the zone, like Steve Bannon said. Flood the zone. They're just terrible, terrible human beings. A lot of them are. They really are. And if you can support a man like that after when you know in your heart who and what he's about and his past and the stuff he's been involved with, for Christ's sake, they had a party back at Epstein's Island. Right? And was it Epstein's Island or was it at Mar-a-Lago? Wherever it was, anyway. There was a party held, and there was young people there with a whole load of girls and Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump. From this model agency for kids. There's plenty of people that come forwards. Not as many as I'd expect. There's going to be a lot more out there who don't want it to be known. That they were probably, raped. Because that's, long and short of it, isn't it, really? They're not old enough to make that conscious decision. You might think that they are, but they're not in the eyes of the law. That's, in the days, not legal. Makes you a PDF file. Yep, they grant them immunity, Supreme Courts. It doesn't negate his charges, no, it doesn't. It's all over the news today. Oh, I got you. Release the files. Yeah, we need to see him. I do believe that they must redact the names, obviously, of the victims and all this. That's obvious, isn't it? That's a foregone conclusion, really. Because you don't want them to be. They've got new lives. They've probably got families and stuff. Do they need all this to be dragged up? Saying that, they might better sue the bugger. I wonder if they could do what's it called now when you have a group of people take somebody to court? There's a name for it. I forgot what the name was now. He uses projection. Anything he has done, he accuses others of. He is a narcissist, most definitely is. That is very true. But these people accuse others of the same thing that they either fantasize about themselves or they actually do. It's all this hate towards trans people. It's disgusting. It is that level of hate. Whether it's not whether it's your thing or not. It doesn't make a difference. It's not my thing. I'm not a trans person. But people live their lives. It's not an ideology. People go, it's an ideology. It's not an idea. It's who they are. Leave them alone. Just leave them alone. But no. Attack all the while, It's the same with a lot of these things, isn't it? Attack those who really have very little support. They certainly don't have no support in the US anymore, especially regarding the government. Trump, yeah, what? Really? Have you seen his puny little arms? I'll tell you something, he's got there's more flesh going on his ankles at the moment. He's not a strong man. He's an angry man. That doesn't make you strong. It's like Steve Miller. Just another little angry man. These aren't happy souls. I feel sorry for them in many ways. No, it's just... No, they're not happy. Donald Trump knows that this is going to be his downfall. But he's an old man. But wouldn't it be good to see his last days of him behind bars? to be completely and utterly destroyed. Because that's what he deserves. If he was involved, I think most likely was, he deserves to be destroyed. And to lose absolutely everything. And all these people coming out of the woodwork and that, wanting compensation. I would love to see that. Hello, hello. Hello, exotic girl. Do you want to see the mama with the bigger boobies? Or was it the Madonna? The Madonna with the bigger boobies. I used to love hello, hello. That was brilliant. I will only say this once. Musk says must be right. Oh, yep. He's well, he did say it, didn't he? But to be fair, but Musk told us he was in the files already. Yeah. Well, the thing is that we can't believe a word he says either, can we? We need to see the files. We need to. You're not going to lay this to rest. No matter what Trump does, this is not going to be laid. We're not. For start, we're not going to let it. You know. A class action, that's it. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, we get a group of people to come together and just do a class action. Usually it's for, I don't know if you do it for that, but can you do a class action for that kind of charge, a compensation charge like that? I don't know, because every case would be very different, wouldn't it? Yeah, it might work. Hello, Scott. Hello, hope you're well. They seem to have terrible father figures. They do. I'll be following some pretty rough people. I mean, on YouTube and their channels. I mean, these people are foul and angry, just nasty individuals. You know, and they say some of them stuff. You know, stuff you think, my God, YouTube's going to take you off for that. There was one the other day. He said he wanted to. Literally, yeah, got the car's the best weapon and all that. And it'll drive, run down trans people. Well, that's a hate crime straight away, isn't it? You know, it's it's just these people exist. They walk amongst us. They walk amongst us. Yeah, the same people says this stuff online. They're probably to your face, whatever. They might, I really like them. They're really nice. I get on really well with that person. They don't really know who they really are. Sort of fake personas. I think I've already done that, mashed potato. Teflon Don. But we can always hope, I know. Nothing seems to touch him, does it? But I think this might be a step too far for many, including many MAGA. But still, many MAGA are still trying to make excuses for him. It's crazy. How can you? Well, that's fair enough, Tom. Yeah, just leave gays and trans and Christians and non-Christians and any other minority group or anybody, in fact, as long as they're not hurting you or hurting others, leave them to do their thing. For start, I don't give a damn what they're doing in their bedrooms as long as they're consenting. You know? It's none of my bloody business. Trans rights are human rights, and human rights are everybody's rights. Well, yeah, of course. Just, yeah. When I hear people online, including some presenters, there's one in particular in the UK that I could mention from the LBC radio, who's got a problem with trans people. She'll say that she hasn't, but she has. And it's she's going on about it and going on about ideology and I just, for Christ's sake, it's not an ideology. It's who they are. It's not. They don't wake up one morning and think, oh, I want to be a woman or I want to be a man. No, it's not that at all. Something they've been struggling with for a very long time. And then, you know, they get to a point where they realise that's the wrong word, and it's just, they get to learn about themselves and who they are. And it just clicks. And the same with people, you know, like gay and lesbian, you know. Well, so all from Texas. Hello, Texas. Well, thanks for keeping the dialogue rolling. Appreciate you. No, you're welcome, my friend. We need to, don't we? We need to keep it moving. Otherwise, we don't want to let these, arseholes, you know, like, for instance, Mike, Johnson, putting Congress into recess for September and that, so people stop talking about these files, but they're not going to. We're not going to. We can't. We've got to pile on the pressure because it's one of the easiest. That's wrong word. It's most likely tools that we've got to push Donald Trump out. They've already started turning on him. You know, his base is turning on him. Other influencers are turning on him. I uploaded a video earlier today about Candace Owens. She's turning on him. Yeah, amongst others are turning on Donald Trump. And then you've got those who say, but I agree with some of his policies. No, we're talking about Donald Trump and the fact that he is potentially a paedophile. That's, you know, that's the long and short of it. We're not interested in his policies. It's irrelevant. These crimes are so severe that we shouldn't try to straw man them. Well, dog's down there. She's looking at me. I ain't got no treats in my pocket. Let's have a look. See what I've got. No, I've got a wire clip. Yeah. You don't want that, girl? Oh, I haven't got no treats in my pocket. No. Oh, Texas Paul. I've come across him a few times with his coffee. Oh, your coffee tastes as good as mine. No, damn, I hope it tastes better. Stuff like that, innit? He's pretty good. Chris said, I voted for Trump, but he's largely underperformed and now disgraced the power conservative movement. We need an actual far-right populist option. You need a far-right populist option. Really? So you want someone worse than Trump? You got Stephen Miller in there, for Christ's sake, giving his 2 pence worth. Yeah, you're right, Jack. Have you watched Blue Dot in Texas channel? A Blue Dot in Texas. Oh, yeah, I get it, yeah. No, I haven't seen it, no. Very nice Texan older bloke who says he's a small blue voter in a red state, but people should stick to their principles, definitely. No matter, you know, who's around you putting pressure on you. Some of these people are really aggressive. Really aggressive. You know, it makes them brave, actually, doesn't it? You know, to be that lonely blue dot. At least he stands for something. I haven't seen the channel, actually. We'll check that out. It sounds interesting. What? My boot? I don't think. I'm not sure. I can agree with that, Nora. Should I call the police because your booty has already taken me by storm? That's a strange troll, isn't it? Strange troll. I don't normally have that that effect. So you need somebody who's even more far right. Do you know what that normally happens when they go for somebody who's far right and they fail and then you end up in the middle? Sure, it usually happens. Because a lot of this stuff is not possible. Now, let's say, for instance, you could argue that the Italian president is right-wing, far right, but her policies, she's not be funny, she hasn't done half the stuff that she's promising. She's more middle of the ground conservative, really, you know. How's your husband? Oh, dear me. Some people, Some people got too much time on their hands, they really have. Oh, being trolled. Should I put that person on? Should I get rid of that person? I think so, because they've just been stupid. There you go, it's gone. Don't spam the chat. Exit. Uncomfortable. Yeah, I got some spammers tonight. It's only me, but you know. It's interesting hearing commentary from someone who observes the subject country from thousands of miles away. Well, I'm in France. In France, you know. I'm a Brit living in France, but I was following Brexit a lot before, and it got me interested in politics, and so basically I just kind of follow the bad news, it seems, and Trump is bad news. He's not a good person. He's not a good person. I don't understand how people are falling for it. It just, to me, it's just mind-numbing. The man is so obvious. He's such an obvious bastard, he really is. Sometimes it's easy to diagnose something from afar, and the US economy is headed for a crash once companies run out of materials from pre-tariff purchases. That is very well said, Mark. Oh, thank you, ED. What was it? So EDEANP, thank you for that. Much appreciated. Got a super chat, yay! Don't forget, the old like button, and you can do that just by double tapping the screen. You can double tap. General Motors declared over. Yes, Stellantis. They are looking like they're going to be in the billions. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. In fact, that's a lot of jobs. It's not just Vauxhall, is it? It's I can't remember what one's owned by Stellantis, but it's a major car manufacturing owner. Well, they had problems in the UK as well because of Brexit. It's the same thing again, you know. We're talking about red tape and getting stuff into the country, you know, like tariffs, bringing stuff into the country and having to pay the additional tariffs just to bring stuff in. And the problem comes with, like, for instance, if you're talking about just-in-time supply chains or where components might go across the border several times, you might do something in Canada and do something in the United States, and then maybe it'll go into Mexico, then come back into the United States. Now, in the UK, when at the time of Brexit, the argument was that the BMW Mini, the engine, went over 5 to 6 times across the channel, to be fitted out. I personally think they don't know how to math the math. Well, if you've 2.7% inflation means everything is increasing in price by 2.7%. Everything. And then you've got food inflation, which is even higher. Now, food inflation reached around 20-odd%, didn't they, with COVID? Well, I won't be surprised with these tariffs, it's going to be heading in the same direction because it's 50% tariff on tomatoes from Mexico. It's just nuts. Head to more good old tool finds. Hello there. Oh, it's you from me on the channel. Yeah, I fixed the angle grinder earlier. The cable's broken. So that was my father's. It's on my Tinker's Lab channel. Get that too dark. That's better. Too light. Yeah, that has. Yeah, people they go on about socialists and stuff like that, don't they? But they don't seem to think or realise the far right is just so insular. You can't. You run out of money. They say with being a socialist, you'll eventually run out of money. But you know, if you're far right and you're insular, you can run out of money. But it's like a lot of these things. They're usually hybrids anyway. They end up with a bit of capitalism in there. You know, most economies are run on some capitalist systems. It's where drive, unless you're going to have like Star Trek or something, that's where your drive comes from. You know, to better yourselves, or you know, capitalism is what does that. Yeah, but then you got greed, and you have greed, and it just screws everything up. People are greedy inherently. We all want more than our neighbour. You know, if we see somebody got a new car, we want a new car. These days, though, I don't give a shit. I really don't. I've had my car now. Well, this next try, I've had it 8 and a bit years. Just keep putting it for a CT and I can just keep it going. I don't travel far enough. I used to have Jags and stuff like that. That was what I used to drive. Jaguar S-Types, XJRs. Yeah, that was nice. But it was ridiculous fuel. That fuel he's putting that thing. I woke up. That was stupid. It really was stupid. Although I would like a new truck. A double cab or something. I used to have a Ford Ranger is what I used to have. Double cab. That was right, but underpowered, but that was right. Like a Nissan Navara. No growth, ain't no growth. Got zero growth, pretty much. You had growth, that's gone. And same in the United Kingdom's got no growth. Some countries in the European Union has growth. Germany's actually turning the corner. These things are changing, you know. They're all guilty. Well, they are. If they cover this up, they are all guilty. They're all complicit in Bongino, whatever his name is, Cash Patel, and all that lot. They're just looking for the next thing to throw out there, Biden or whatever, you know. Which doesn't make any sense because Donald Trump actually gave him immunity by giving himself immunity. So it was a bit daft. It's like he never remembers or understands what he's actually done or doing. Oh, cheers, buddy. I recommend Mark Carney's book titled Values, Building a Better World for All, written well before he even considered politics. Well, he was our Bank of England governor for a few years, and he was bloody good. He was bloody good. And he's a nice bloke. And he always come over well, he's well spoken. He's quite comical as well. I like Mark Carney. I do. He's a decent bloke. One of the things he said in an interview with James O'Brien, which got me a bit. He's a white man, isn't he? Obviously a white Canadian. After Brexit, he was getting racial abuse. Seriously, why don't you go back where you come from and that sort of stuff? And his kids were getting it as well. And this was actually outside the school when he's picking his kids up from school. You know, and he was telling James O'Brien on his radio show. I just found out, crap, it's a bit much, you know. You hear this obviously with people, black families and what have you, getting the same kind. They're getting pretty nasty stuff. In fact, where I'm from in Norfolk, Norwich, there was a Polish woman. She had a little shop on Magdalen Street, and she's a single mum, single parent. Sorry, she's mum and little daughter, and what have you. Anyway, the shop got burnt. It was torched. This was a racial attack during Brexit because it was based on racism, immigration, and stuff like that. And she got attacked, all right. But I have to admit, I was very impressive because the people in Norwich and surrounding areas, they all crowdfunded, and they literally completely they refitted the shop for her and restocked it. You know, that's a community. There are good people out there. That's the point. There are some really nice and really decent people out there. It only takes one, doesn't it? One nasty piece of work. Like, these people who keep stabbing politicians and stuff, or shooting them in the US. They're all guilty. All politicians are guilty. They're probably guilty of something. It'll be funny. I won't be surprised some of the Democrats are in that file. I don't give a damn if they're Democrats, Republicans, or independent, or whoever they might be. If they're in that if they are involved or have been involved with Jeffrey Epstein, known for what the man's about, well, they should be shamed. And if they're guilty of wrongdoing, well, they need to go to I don't know, go to Seacott or something. Send them to El Salvador. You can't have a rule for one and not for the others, can you? It's got to be for a lot of them. You think they want us to be in a free state? You can't have all the power and money if you are in a free state. The Jews don't want that. They want total power. What are you referring to? What are you referring to? Stephen Miller's natural demon. Did you ever anyone see the clip of him when he was on the old school bus going on about torture? I put a clip on this channel. There's a clip of it. And he's going on about torture and what have you, about chopping fingers off and what have you. It's better than killing them. He goes, worse to that effect. It's more humane apparently because they're still alive. Well, he's a foul. He's always had the same feelings about, people. Voltaire, hope you well. Oh, from Arizona. I look like Epstein's best client. Oh, I can guarantee you that's not the case. For a start, I ain't got enough money. But also, I've got from 6 kids, I don't want no. My dear wife, she was married to, she didn't know he was a paedophile until it came out later. But, he was a paedophile. He used to beat her up and stuff. These people are foul. They're foul people. So, apparently I look like someone who'd be on that list. Okay. Oh, boy. There are changes that need to be made if in that party as well. It does, yes. Same in the United Kingdom as well. Labour is not exactly doing too brilliantly well, are they? They can't seem to get people on side. Not surprising, considering what they're doing. And then you obviously got the Democrats. They just seem like they're sitting on their hands. You've got a few good ones in there, but most of them just sitting on their hands, allowing all this stuff. They think they're going to ride it out. Come on. No, they've got to fight. Drop the Jolly Ranchers and step away from the playground. Yeah, I agree, Steve. The realisation that 7 times the population of the country I live in voted for him in the Czech Republic, and most still support him. That's what I find disturbing. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's incredibly disturbing. These people are just... They'll make excuses for them. Or they'll be in denial. And they'll still be in denial. They literally have another felony accounts judgments against him, and they won't believe it. So it's a hatchet job. It's a hatchet job. Oh, what have I missed? God, you're not wrong, Jessica. All parties, they cander to their donors. This is... Parties should be funded by the state. There should be no donors. There should be no donors whatsoever. They should be funded, or every single party member should be funded by the state. So you all got a fair chance. As soon as you've got other people's money involved, you know, corporations and that, they got a hold over you. And like lobbying, ban the... No. What is the purpose of lobbying other than the blooming lobbyists trying to feather their own nests? Most of them are middlemen for other companies. They're just representatives because they've got a foot in the door. David Cameron, for instance, of Greensill, lobbying on behalf of Greensill in the UK. You know, the company collapsed. Good job he didn't suck up to that, because he, you know, basically is trying to get money out of the British taxpayer. Could there have been a chance that people who controlled the files could have forged any? Same people who committed treason. Who knows? Who knows? But I would have thought that I'd have thought every single piece of paper is going to be scrutinised. Its origins, where it's from, and stuff like that. I very much doubt it's going to be forged. Very much doubt that. If you're a MAGA, I think that's what I hoped before. I think it's pretty dark likely. This is paper that's been collected for over a long period of time. It isn't just, some dodgy Democrats have decided to forge these papers. That's not happening. That's a little bit far-fetched, I think. What have I missed? Is there any chance that the people who control... Americans finally answered the question, how the hell did Hitler get elected? The crazy thing is, there's so much history about Donald Trump and his family for the last 100-odd years. And longer, actually, since they came into the country. His father was arrested, has been involved with the KKK back in 1927. Donald Trump himself paid for like an advertorial, I suppose. Anyway, he paid for a full-page double spread for basically calling for the death penalty for three black lads who are accused of murder. And they were acquitted. They weren't even guilty. They didn't do it. But here's him going, you can imagine what their lives were like after that. And that's horrendous. He doesn't give a shit about anybody. He really doesn't. He just wants to step on everybody. He just wants to control people. And he does it with threats. Just like all these court cases and stuff like that. The fact he's got control of the variety of different, lawyers and law firms. He's just... If any MAGA people out there think that Donald Trump has any concern for them, they are deluded. Just are. As a fact. Don't forget, double click the old tap, tap, tap. Do a like while you're here. Oh, it's channel, you know. Oh, it's a bit of a random one. France turd. What? Remember that widow? Which widow? Scott. Muddy shuts people up. Yeah, but how many of them? How many people out there that are victims that haven't come forward yet? Have they shut them all up? Have they threatened them? Because he has been known to do that. Oh, that's his name. I get you now. Frame who? What are you talking about? Trump? Frame him. I think Trump is framing himself. He's doing a good job of that. Yep. No, the thing is you're right, Steve. You know, didn't do anything, did they? Just made excuses and tried to protect him. That's what they've all been doing. Pam Bondi, she's been, bending over backwards for him, isn't she? This is going to destroy their own reputation. Never mind Donald Trump's. But let's hope. Let's hope, because they don't deserve any respect. They don't deserve to keep their jobs, obviously. And this regime needs to be looked down to peg. Look at Mike Johnson, for instance, covering up from, and he reckons I bet he knew. And he's a godly person. There they are, they're huddling up and they have little group hugs now, thanking God and God as well, We thank God for all the little girls. Yeah. Please keep President Trump safe. Oh, I won't be. Look what he did to his daughter, for Christ's sake. He made this. What was it? Mike Johnson's daughter had to go to like a ceremony that declare herself as a virgin, and that she won't be go with a man or a boy or whatever. Blah blah. It's just, it's so pathetic. Ghislaine Maxwell, just as well. She's involved. There was Ghislaine Maxwell. Oh crikey, Don Trump's dead wife. They were good friends. They were. They used to go around picking up girls in school uniforms. Headhunter kind of thing. Talent scout. So there was an interview from somebody. Oh, what's it? This thing? All these interviews are out there from various people, but they don't really make the. They're just stuck in some file somewhere. There's clearly a lot of information. Mark. That's just it though. Trump knows that what people are thinking, and that the first person they'll turn to is him. Yeah. Crazy. So Ghislaine is going to get shut up before she squawks, I think. The thing is, though, that's bloody dangerous, isn't it? It's already Jeffrey Epstein, and now you're saying that maybe Ghislaine Maxwell will get topped, or Ghislaine. she used to get involved as well. She was, fondling his balls while he's molesting some girl. I don't know. But it's it's just gross. I've got daughters. Donald Trump's got daughters. Oh, again, he did say he'd like to molest his daughter. Yeah, okay. Yeah. In an interview, just crazy. Ghislaine gives great massages. I'm sure she does. At the end of August, it's going to be rough for the United States. Yep, if these tariffs kick in on the 1st of August, it's going to be extremely rough for the United States. Tomato prices are going to shoot through the roof. What was it now? The 50% on coffee beans from Brazil. That's going to push the price up of your coffee considerably. The thing about that is he's using that one as if for political reasons to protect a friend, Bolsonaro. I ain't going to work because Lulu's not having any of it. It's like the Goodfellas. It's like in the Goodfellas and the Lufthansa heist. Everyone involved started disappearing one after the other. They'll be gone. That they will. Here's more to come. There's going to be lots. Keir Starmer is directly involved in international human trafficking. Oh, I don't believe that for a moment. Because I think that's bollocks. They have tried to find stuff on Keir Starmer for an absolute forever. He's squeaky clean. You might not be your cup of tea. You might make excuses. Sorry, attacks like that, but that's bollocks. There's no way. No, that's absolute bollocks. So, no, I'm not going to criticise him because he's talking no shit. Because that's not true. He's the most boring man out there. He just is. They already understand the bullshit. Ooh, bullshit, my favourite. Brazil isn't stupid enough to get slapped with 70% tariffs over persecuting Bolsonaro. Bolsonaro, he attempted a coup he threatened Lula, who is the elected president of Brazil. So it's not persecuting Bolsonaro. Bolsonaro should end up in jail. He's corrupt as hell. Chris Sakata, are you well? Why don't you fact check yourself? You need to do something. Leave Mike here alone. Yeah. The likelihood of him being involved in anything like that is pretty fucking slim. That's actually ridiculous. I'll tell you something. If it is the case, I'll eat my hat. It's just no. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Neptune. Alleged coup. How's an alleged coup? That's stupid. There's nothing alleged about it. You can see it. Boring is a blessing. I miss having boring presidents as we keep on. No. But what would we have to talk about? Let's be honest. Boring existence. There wouldn't be all those right-wing channels out there to take the piss out of, you know. I'd have no content. Oh dear. And so did Trump. Yeah, he basically did a coup with his January 6th. That was disgusting, and everyone thinks that's okay. He sat there laughing about it and just, you know, watch it on his big screen. He told them people, I'll be there with you, he goes. I'll be there with, where was he? He got straight in his car and went back to the White House or Mar-a-Lago, wherever he was. Keir is a Virgo that don't do public. He is boring, let's be honest. But, you know, it shouldn't matter, should it? The only thing is, though, he needs to do better. He needs to come over better. I think he gets attacked too much. I really do. But he needs to do better. Cheers, Scott. Oh dear me. We could talk about how great dogs are. Dogs are the best. I've got my little Bandors over there on the couch, currently scratching herself. Yeah, I think she's... No, she's alright. They're all molting, you see. And then we've got Sebastian's in his basket on the floor down there. And yeah, dogs are great. And if I knew then what I'd know, I'd have just had dogs, not 6 kids. Yeah, what do you reckon? Just dogs? Dogs are great. Maggots! They certainly are. You like Angela? Well, Angela Ribbon. Yeah, I know what you mean. The deputy. You got 3, eh, Mark? I had 3. I lost my Wally, which that kills me every fucking time, that does. He was my little buddy. My hubby gets to pick the next dog, and he really wants a Bernese Mountain Dog. I want another terrier. I want another terrier cross. I want another Wally. He was the best little boy. Greetings from Epstein Island. That's my little Wally. Look at him. He was the best. Great little fella. Miss him, I do. I'm from Canada, isn't it? And I say, Nick, discovered USA flag last year. I'm going to rename it Gulf of... the Gulf of Nick. Oh dear. I'm a bit iffy on UK Labour at the moment, but everyone would have a job on their hands after. I think the job's impossible. I think it's absolutely impossible. The cost of borrowing is too high. They actually need to borrow a shitload of money and invest in infrastructure. That's why I see it anyway. I can't see them turn that country, turn the United Kingdom around without borrowing a lot of money. Borrowing in places where it makes money. No more blooming privatised companies, If a privatised company can make money, and they do it by asset stripping, to be fair, so can a nationalised company, in fact, a nationalised organisation, we sold off everything. It's ridiculous. And what have they done? They've just stripped of assets. You've got water authorities not spending what they should be spending to maintain the infrastructure. You've got, over a long period of time. Same with the train networks. All they've done is just palm everything off to foreign organisations. So whether it be the carriages or the rail networks, trains themselves, everything's been foreign owned. Oh, thank you, Richard. Yeah, he was a cute little boy, he was. He was such a nice little fella. Dog slave. Yes, I think we're all dog owners are dog slaves. The dogs end up on the sofas and we end up on the floor. That's what usually happens. Oh. Mine was the best dog, was it, Nick? Good thing Alaska's already in Canada's possession. Yep. Okay. It has to be wealth taxation in some form. I agree. I think all these negotiated corporation taxes for large companies, they need to put pay to that for a start. We all need to be on this, and they do it to attract business, don't they? Preferential tax rates and stuff like that. Well, if you don't want to pay the tax, decent tax rates, we don't really want you, If you don't want to abide by our rules, it's all a bit desperate. And then they got you by short and curlies, didn't they? They'll threaten you and say, well, we want a subsidy or something like that. Look at Nissan, for instance. They're constantly asking for money. And then you've got Tata Steel as well. So wealth taxation. You need, in my thinking is, it's not necessarily taxation on the accrued wealth, but to encourage them to spend the money. I don't know how you do that. Or force them to spend a certain amount of their money. They need to spend it. The money needs to be recirculated. For there to be any chance of any stability in the... Because there's only a certain amount of money, isn't there? And so obviously it's print more if there's loans and stuff like that, or they borrow money. But there's only a certain amount really, in reality, and it's if you've got more going out of the country than there's actually been, than there is growth. If you've got no bloody growth, well then you can't fill that gap. And so it becomes more and more noticeable that these people are scamming us. When people are feeling okay and they can pay their bills and stuff like that, inflation's in some sort of control. Too expensive to get a mortgage and blah 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 blah. People don't, in my view anyway, they don't necessarily see the negatives of what's going on underneath their noses. But when you start pointing the finger, don't you? I'm finding things a bit tough, really, But yet those people are swanning around in their Ferraris and doing all this shit. Why is that? We're not seeing any of it. There needs to be some balance, doesn't there? So you've some sort of wealth tax. I don't know how you do it then. I don't know. Apart from, I'd like to see them spend more money. Keep businesses running and stuff like that. Spending more money. Pay their staff more money because they will spend money because of working class and all that. Generally do. Because what's happening at the moment, don't you? In the UK, we have a thing called universal credit. So you don't, if you earn below a certain amount of money, well then your money's topped up. Well, why are we subsidising corporations' wages for their staff? Shouldn't they be paying enough money so they don't need these people don't need universal credit? I know that things change regarding if you've got, like, argument's sake, children obviously you'll need, and your levels of money you got in universal credit change depending on how many kids you got and stuff like that. But you need some sort of starting point. The minimum wage is pathetic. And in the United States, the federal minimum wage was about $7.25 an hour. I know some states are higher, about around 15 an hour in some states. But still, tax wealth, not work. I think the thresholds at the lower end need to be much higher before you start paying taxes. I think that's too low. But, those people with shitloads of money, they're just sitting on it. And they're just, a lot of them got ass holding companies and shit like that, and not paying any tax on this money. And then you've got shares. If you keep reinvesting in shares, that's unrealised money. You don't get taxed on it. Your money can just sit in shares without any tax. You can get taxed on the dividend, not the actual, because it's unrealised money. It's crazy. Billionaires don't pay tax. Billionaires tend to just borrow. A lot of them just borrow constantly. Everything they do is they borrow money. While money is cheap, they'll borrow. Corporate welfare, yes, exactly what it is, isn't it? Everything's subsidised by the working classes, those who are paying the most taxes. As a mass, we are, aren't we? It's just it's like I've got to pay my taxes end this month. I do it quarterly. But I'm sure there's plenty of ridiculously rich people out there who aren't paying enough, even here in France. I think it's probably harder here though to hide it, but there'll be ways. There always is, isn't there? There are a lot of loopholes. There's more wealth in the globe per capita than ever before. It's just in the hands of people who don't spend it. Well, certainly in my hands, I do know. They don't. Well, they don't. Yeah, they just. You took the wealthy out there. They just sit on the money. They'll sit on the money. They'll invest in this, that, and the other. Some maybe they'll just stick it in the bank and just live off the interest. But why should the working classes prop up those with copious amounts of money? It's like the richest 1% out there. It's just. God, it's just unbelievable, that really. But we've done it. We've made them people richer. We buy their services. We use their platforms. So we are to blame as well. It's like these people have got. They whinge and whine about the X platform with Elon Musk. But they carry on using it. There's only food celebrities or people there who and organisations that are pulled away from the X platform. James O'Brien, he moved from the LBC radio. He moved over to Blue Sky. I quite like it over there. It's all right. It's not as active as the X platform, but you just get a load of right-wing nut jobs on there. It's even worse. You go onto Truth Social. Oh my giddy, these people are so stupid. They really are idiots on there. Oh, that reminds me. I wonder what Donald Trump has been writing on his Truth Social. Has he commented on what has been said regarding him and his... where is it? Oh, no, Truth Social. Yeah, I joined. Donald Trump. No. I'm just wondering if he's. When was this 5 hours ago?
House intelligence report, which investigated the claims that.
Oh, God, Tulsi Gabbard and there's Obama rubbish regarding. They're just trying to distract people's attention away. Don't look over here, look over there. The Steele dossier. Oh dear. It's all about tariffs. I will only lower the tariffs if they open their markets, he's saying here. Going on with Jerome Powell. No, he hadn't mentioned it on his Truth Social because it's too embarrassing for him. Oh God, I can't listen to him. So they're all about Obama still, which is bollocks. Right, so I wonder if there's much been said on Reddit. Trump is... Oh no, hang on. I don't want to search my tabs, I want to search a new one. Alright, has anything been said on Reddit? Let's have a look. It's quite interesting to get on people's opinions, you see. Okay. What replies we got on there? So the Justice Department told Trump in May that his name is among many in the Epstein Files. It's weird how someone person, Wolf120 has replied. It's weird how this is framed as something that the Justice Department had to tell him. Like, surely if anyone would know for sure, even before they checked the files, it would be him. Yeah, exactly. Like, how did the conversation even go down? Bondi, Mr. President, unfortunately, you've just received confirmation that your name is featured in the first files collected on the Jeffrey Epstein's private island. Crikey. Donald Trump, white hat, good guy. Super jacked too. Saved a whole bunch of kids. Definitely not a bit. Really? Wasn't Stephen Hawking in the files pack when he on Epstein's island at one point? I hope not. I think Bill Clinton wouldn't really matter because, he's got a bit of reputation anyway, hasn't he? Obama, yeah, okay. I don't think, I very much doubt he'll be on there. But if he is, I very much doubt it. There's people saying shocking. Oh, it feels gross. God, Bennett. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? There we go. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. What have I missed? Scroll down. I feel like I've missed something. Oh, I haven't. That's good. That's fine. Building a better world for all. Yes, I was lost. One of those. Don't forget double tap the old screen because then that doesn't like you see. So you know that. I didn't know that until recently. That's a fair point. The thing is, a lot of people might have known Epstein, but not necessarily pedos themselves. Of course, yeah. But that's the first stage, isn't it? First step to know who was directly involved with Epstein. But be just business or dodgy dealings or stuff like that. People like these people, though, it's a lot about power and it's about control of women, what have you, as well. It's not just pleasure dome and all that. It's control. Those sort of people photograph stuff, video stuff. We've been silly, video 8. What did Taylor say? Your liberates should boycott the country and move to Canada. Liberates. What's that mean? You mean liberals? Strange people out there, aren't they? You got a full battery now, Brimstone? Oh, dear me. Oh, dear, dear, dear. But apparently, you know, being a liberal is the worst thing it is, yeah, but being a paedophile apparently is okay. You know? Takes all sorts, down it, eh? Yeah. Trump was his best friend for decades, not just at a party. No, exactly. He was best friends for 10 years, according to Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump did say in a statement, in an interview once before, that he was friends with Epstein for 15 years. Oh, excuse me. There's going to be all sorts on that list, isn't there? Yeah, exactly. Until September. So he's obviously worried that he's going to be forced to publish the files by Congress. This ain't going to go away, is it? It's not going to go away. I hope not, anyway. You know, all those involved are drawn over the keyhole. God, I'll have to go now. Hang on, I'm so tired. Normal people see kids at a party and leave. In fact, there was a group of people, including Mike Tyson, another individual. I think it might be Eddie Murphy. Actually, I might be wrong, but I think it was Eddie Murphy, and another geezer who was the person being interviewed. And I can't remember his name. Anyway, they'd been invited to a party, and where they come down to, there was all these rooms. This is at Mar-a-Lago, this was. And the rooms were girls, and you could basically go in any room. And this guy said, he said he left. It was too much, he left. Whereas, Mike Tyson, people like that, they'd stay put, wouldn't they? Mike Tyson has been supporting Trump for a long time. Oh, I wonder why that is. Because Trump has got dirt on. That's what I reckon, anyway. This was in an interview back, when was that? Early 2000s? He was describing the place and how many rooms and stuff like that in Mar-a-Lago. He said, never seen so many rooms. And I think he was a music artist or something. He sounded like Jamaican. He sounds a bit Jamaican, if I remember rightly. And he's describing what the place was like, and that it was basically just loads of topless girls everywhere, clearly of what is that, of dubious age, you saying, and people just going in and out of these rooms in Mar-a-Lago and having sex with these girls. Did you read in The Sun? No, because I don't read The Sun. I heard the interview. She's probably a victim. I still think Melania knows a lot. Yes, she does. She clearly does. She was in that circle of people, wasn't she? You know, she was basically trafficked and all. Slovenian, apparently. They'd have evidence or victim statements of the people on it. I hope so. I know they got there's apparently could be as many as 1,000 victims. But there's several that's come forward over the years. Not enough, though. There we come. Melania was passed around. She was one of the models. She was. Oh, can't they do that to women in Dubai? I can imagine. Got no rights, human rights at all. They didn't, look around for instance how they treat women. It's horrendous. Oh, here we go again. The inability to understand legal versus illegal immigration. I'm not even talking about that at the moment, but just because you can find a so-called illegal route doesn't make you an illegal. That's just ridiculous. Also doesn't make sense. The right doesn't seem to understand their own constitution. You can go on about freedom of speech and shit like that when it doesn't actually say what they think it says in the constitution. It's where the government can't impede your freedom of speech. And that's basically it. Quite, they keep saying they're not entitled to due process. Yes, they are. It's also in the constitution. Doesn't matter. Any person in the United States is entitled to due process. Doesn't matter if you're a citizen or not. Everybody is. You could be dropped in by, I don't know, by parachute. It doesn't make any difference. Oh, here we go. I'll preach about the laws of a country that you have no connection. I can read, okay? Obviously, many of you lot cannot read. Preaching about the laws of a country you have no connection to the taxpayers of that country is completely normal, not arrogant at all. Obviously, he's been sarcastic. It amazes me that just somebody like myself living in France has more of a grasp of the constitution than those who actually live in the country. And also, they don't seem to half of them can't bloody spell. They're all using the wrong yours and theirs and theirs. Yeah, but the problem is the files are probably getting scrubbed as we speak. Oh, damn it. I'm not responding to you anymore, Chris. That's boring me. I have read the US Constitution, yes. I know I have not studied law, have you? No. Nobody's citizenship status has ever hurt me. No. That's very true, Billy Keeper. I don't know. In fact, if anything, many of those people who actually made your lives a little bit easier. Picking the food in the in the fields and the greenhouses and stuff, doing the jobs that nobody else really wants to do. They're not taking jobs away from you. People, they can't. These people are gone, and they can't find people to do it now. We're not talking about a few hundred people, are we? We're talking thousands and thousands of people have been scooped up and got rid of. Like their lives mean nothing. Not when they're eating the cats and the dogs. And they're drinking the blood of the babies. It's true, says Roxanne. Roxanne, no, Roseanne. Roseanne or Roxanne? I can't remember. Roxanne. People from other countries are aware of politics and laws in other countries. Yes, it doesn't take much to learn it, does it? I don't know everything about the US law. Of course, I bloody don't. I'm not that much. No, that's just silly. Surprising how many American citizens don't have a clue. Oh, that's interesting. Canada has a 30-year mineral contract with our Green Atlantic friends. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Well done, Canada. Canada's also got a considerable amount of minerals themselves. Yes, Scott. You can't teach stupid. Oh, Canada got the deal with Greenland because we are respectful. Well, let's be fair. That's kind of your calling card. If you treat people with respect, and you get more. Threatening people, you get less. Just put. None of these deals that Donald Trump says he's coming up with are good for the United States. In fact, the counter tariffs, they're still counter tariffs. They're not tariff-free deals. It's not like, oh, we're charging them tariffs and they're not charging us. It's not that at all. Those countries that Donald Trump is so-called deals that he's negotiated have reciprocal tariffs. I don't know what it is about us European Americans. We always have to crusade for God, King, and country. Is this a historical ancestral trauma? Yes, most probably. Or hysterical. All me hands, Christmas sausage. More flies with honey than vinegar. Oh. Canada likes a win-win partnerships. Yeah, of course. It's the difference between Americans and Brits. Americans usually have no SOH. No, I suppose you're right. That's not all, yeah. Not all Americans are like that. I don't want to stereotype, but there are a lot, I must admit. Unfortunately. But those who don't buy into it, they just must feel very uncomfortable being surrounded by these people and having to walk amongst them and to go into, I don't know, a bar somewhere and hearing these people talk in the background and think, oh, for God's sake. You know. There's no point engaging with them. No point at all. We fully admit that we've got the idiot apocalypse on our hands, and it's weird, I know. I think they're always there, but they're just being given the platform. You know, they wouldn't say boot to the goose before, but no, they're just, you know, they've been given this opening to say whatever they like, you know, under the so-called guise of being freedom of speech. without even understanding what that even means. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. We've got our fair share in the UK and here in France. There's plenty of crazy people out there with some very strange ideas about how things work. Actually, no idea at all, actually, after that. You're not alone. They're all surrounded by them. Maybe not quite as many, but they are there. It'll be okay in the end. It's just a shame that the hurt caused on the journey. Oh my God, yeah. It's affecting everybody. You see, these are your neighbours and stuff. People who live, just trying to get by. The star thing is that you need them. So you're hurting yourselves. Pushing these people out. Well, trafficking them, I suppose. Steve said, I couldn't live amongst them anymore, so I left. Yeah. Do you think that's that there's more of these MAGA type people, or do you think it's just that they come out from under their stones, come out of the woodwork? So I wonder if they were already there, or they've been bred that way. That's inbreeding, isn't it? That's what it's all that inbreeding. Yeah. We have that here in France as well. That's usually the farmers trying to keep the land in the family. I hope you're right. I hope it will be alright in the end. I'm hoping people have learned from this catastrophe, really. Shallow gene pool. Most definitely. I was always taught that America was supposed to be a work in progress. We weren't there yet on that liberty and justice for all idea, but we are supposed to be committed to keep working for it. So you're going, it's a journey. But no, it seems to have gone the other way now, hasn't it? Sort of working against yourselves now. Monkeys see, monkeys do. No money see, but monkeys see and monkey do. Was it money see? Money, the monkey. Stupid is as stupid does. If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, is a duck. Oh, God's sake. Now, apparently I'm a Marxist now. These people who don't know what socialism is. There's no such thing as just pure socialism anyway. It'd never work. They're all hybrids. Even France, it's socialism. No, they're socialist capitalists in France. Hello, Mark. In Canada, hello there. I don't know if you heard, but Donald Trump's Pam Bondi told him back in May that he was in the files, the Jeffrey Epstein files, and now they're doing what they can to hide from the truth. We'll see. It might happen, it might not. Evolution leaves the leftovers behind always. They certainly are. Oh, crikey. We're talking diehards and true believers, or are we using the The Fash rule, you can vote for all of it, no matter you're alone, for choosing the candidate. If it's the first of 30 million fascists in America, there's plenty of them now. It's not looking good, is it? And what about all these people that are working? You realise they get like 150 grand working for ICE? They get about over 3 times as much as a blinking teacher. It's nuts. And then apparently they're going to get a bonus. Actually, what's that? Has anyone received their Doge checks yet? Oh, you forgot about that one, have you? Oh, okay. But, I was just wondering, have you got your Doge check? Bollocks. You're not getting that. It's playing on your wishes and giving people false promises. It's just a bollocks. Everything that comes out of his mouth is a little bollocks. Nobody's getting anything. It's just talk. I think it's a lack of education. I think a lot of it's just a lack of empathy as well. Certainly lack of education, and some of the education's done in the home. If the parents aren't particularly, how to put it, clued up, well, then they've got a problem, haven't you? We see this in our schools here. My grandchildren they are sharp. I mean, got their head at that moment actually, and they're visiting from the UK, and they are, they're clever kids. But the only reason is because their mother, my daughter, has put a lot of work into them. She does a lot with them before they even got to school, and now they are at school. She carries on working really hard, making sure they get education and stuff. And it's like my little grandson, Boucher. He's counting already. He's only 2, and you've got these things, these number blocks. He's a funny little lad, he is. But he got these number blocks. He loves these, but they couldn't find the number 1. It's at home somewhere. But he was wearing a number 1 T-shirt. So he was number 1, all right. So, but it's just the thing about these, you them together, and it gives you an idea of, like for instance, just you put them side by side, it gives you an idea how many more you'd need. It's just like adding up and stuff as well. And he loves that sort of stuff. And he's doing puzzles. I asked my daughter the other day, he's doing like 200-piece puzzles, like 2. It's mad. He started doing them upside down. It reminds me of that film. Oh my God, what film was that? The Accountant. That's it. Anyway, started doing puzzles upside down. Without you can see the picture on it. He's 2 years old. It's crazy. God, definitely not. None of this should be normalised. There's I heard that the 40k back bonus, that's a fucking lot of money, isn't it? Wasn't it 3 billion set aside for each ICE agent to receive a minimum of 40k? It's crazy. I just can't understand MAGA types. Why? I don't know why they're so angry. They hate. They're just full of hate. There's no love in them. There really isn't. They don't care about people. They're happy to see these people literally thrown on the ground, and whether they be veterans and that as well. And knees put into their back. They're happy to say it. They think it's great because they're just evil bastards. There's none to blame for their misery but themselves. It's the others that get that have to deal with it as well. They won't take those who didn't vote for this crap, who don't like what's happening to their country. You know, it must feel a very lonely place at the moment. Oh, yeah. 45k for ICE agents and a dismissal letter for teachers. Yeah, America's cooked, you're right. It's Captain America with his disc thing shield. Oh dear. Oh, anyway, I'm going to have to call it because I'm so tired of struggling here. So, also, thank you very much for the super chats and, beat the like button. You do it by tapping the screen twice, apparently. Tap twice. And, yeah, thanks. Oh, thanks for that. Cheers. I see my like just went up. Don't forget, big little like button. Tap it twice. I don't know. I don't know where it's all going to head, to be honest. Will they turn on Trump? Some of them already are. Some high-profile figures are turning on Trump. But will it be enough? You see, the thing is, these people are turning on Trump. They might be Trump supporters, but they're not. You know, people like Charlie Kirk and people like him and Candace Owens. They're not stupid people. They're horrible people, but they're quite clever. I don't know about accusing Emmanuel Macron's wife is a man. I'm not sure how that panned out, but you know, I don't think that they're stupid. They're doing it because it gets them clicks. You know, they know what they need to do to get the audience. But they're basically MAGA. These people, the little red hats, they're just being used. They really are. They're just being used by these, manipulated by these people. So Melania could be one of the ones to bring him down. She could, but she ain't gonna do that. No, not unless she's, implicated somehow. Don't be the clown show. It takes strength to be true to who you are than a coward who hides. Also a coward who just follows what the parents maybe agree with all the stuff that's blurting out of their mouths over the dining room table, even those little bollocks don't stand up for themselves. Or, I don't know. I find that a bit crazy. Yeah, I'm off there. Anyway, take care. And have, that's what's tomorrow, Thursday. Have a lovely Thursday. Toodaloo.